Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Join me in today's video where I do a follow-up review on the Hexmariner by Revelot. Now, I usually don't do follow-up reviews, but in the initial unboxing / mini review, I did say I'd follow up because I missed out things like the wrist shot, and I didn't really get to go into as much detail as I usually do. And since then, I've had this watch on wrist, I gotta say, for the whole week, non-stop, ever since I unboxed this. This is such a fantastic little watch, and I think Revelot have really nailed it with one particular factor, and that's the dimensions. And the best thing about this watch that I've noticed while I've had it on wrist is this exactly, how well it weighs. It weighs much smaller than a 39mm, and that's purely down to that very compact lug to lug. It's 44mm. Plus, with those male end links, it comes to around 48.4mm, which is still quite a lot shorter than most of the watches out there. But the male end links do slope down quite steeply, and therefore it doesn't actually affect the wearability on wrist. And that is the main thing about this watch. And that's what feedback I have to give to you guys, that over the week of wearing it, this has just been so damn comfortable. And of course, this is wrist size dependent. I've got a 6.5-inch wrist, and so for the smaller wristed guys out there, this does fit perfectly. You can see how well centered it is on wrist, very well balanced. There's no top heaviness in it. The watch doesn't move around too much while it's on wrist, and it is a great fit. Now, on top of that, I think Revelot have kind of nailed it in every aspect. But first, let's bring in the price. Now, in the original video, I didn't know the price exactly. However, I did put some comments in the description once I did find the price out, and that was around £200 for a micro brand NH35 movement, sapphire crystal, stainless steel, and a very well crafted dial. So they've given us, I think, everything. They tick every single box for that very small price of around £200. And to put that into perspective, looking at some AliExpress watches, especially San Martin, they don't make watches as good as this for that price. And this is where a micro brand is coming into that territory there and just smashing something out of the park. On pretty much every aspect, this watch does do extremely well. First and foremost, the dial, as I said, the construction is extremely detailed. There's a lot going on there, and it looks extremely well built, from the hour markers to the dial, the handset, the brushing, the polishing. There's just so much micro detailing present, as well as a rehaut being laser engraved. It is really great. On top of that, the bezel rotation is great. There's no qualms there. It operates as it should, lines up perfectly well. The crown guards, the case, the crown, everything works superbly. And even in the bracelet area, there's no shortcomings or fault. The end links fit extremely well. There's no play there, and it suits the whole profile of the watch. The bracelet itself, the links, just see how that light just jumps across there, giving it a checkered look because of all these angles and facets in line with that Hexmariner theme. So, I love how they've went away with it. They give you such a premium feel in hand. I think if it was a different micro brand, this could retail up to like $350 up to $450, without a shadow of a doubt, because you see a lot more watches that are probably a bit more expensive, but they don't have this level of detailing behind it, this level of finishing behind it. Even with the clasp, everything is okay. The lume is great as well. They haven't skimped out on any feature, I feel. They've pretty much nailed every feature to a more than reasonable standard. Let me give you guys a quick flash of the lume shot. And take it from me, guys, for all radium lume, this is really well applied. There's a lot of layers gone into the actual applied hour markers, as well as that loomed ceramic bezel insert. You don't get this level of all radium lume on just any watch out there. Usually they're a lot duller than this, but this is very bright, almost like C3 super luminova. So that application of lume is incredible on there, and this is not a cheap dial or bezel to make. Now, if you go onto the website, early bird prices are still available. They actually haven't sold everything out just yet. There's a few key models which are sold, but you do have some really good options available, and they start from around £214 going up to £300 for the meteorite versions. And I think that's probably the cheapest meteorite dial option on any micro brand that I know. And they've got two key meteorite dial options. That looks good. So if you're considering getting this watch and you're not sure on the follow-up, of course initial reviews are always great and everything, but I think on this follow-up I definitely do recommend this, and it's something that which I would go and buy for myself. I do like it that much. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little follow-up. If you haven't done so already, if you're debating, checking them out, just go onto the website, take a look at the color options. I think when you do get it in hand, you will not be disappointed. And once again, thank you to Revelot for sending this piece in. I really have enjoyed wearing it, and it'll definitely be a part of the collection.